ABC is a national public television network in Australia. Launched on 5 November 1956, it is the responsibility of the ABC's television division, and is available nationally. History. Origins. The history of ABC TV can be traced back to 1953, when the Federal Television Act was passed, providing the initial regulatory framework for both ABC Television and ABC commercial television networks under the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Over the next 3 years, planning for the introduction of a national television service was put in place. Land for studios and transmitters in Sydney and Melbourne was acquired, and overseas tutors were brought to Australia to assist with training. Commercial station TCN9 Sydney was the first to broadcast in Australia, soon followed by the ABC's own ABN2 Sydney and later ABV2 in Melbourne. 6 stations, 3 in Melbourne and 3 in Sydney, were in operation in time to cover the 1956 Summer Olympics in Melbourne. The channel's first television broadcast was inaugurated by Prime Minister Robert Menzies on 5 November at the Gore Hill Studios in Sydney, followed 2 weeks later by transmission in Melbourne. Although radio programs could be broadcast nationally by landline, television relay facilities were not put in place until the early 1960s. This meant that news bulletins had to be sent to each capital city by teleprinter, to be prepared and presented separately in each city, with filmed materials copied manually and sent to each state. A purpose-built television studio opened in Sydney on 29 January 1958, replacing temporary sound studios used since ABC TV's inception. In the same year, technical equipment was also moved to permanent locations, while main transmitters were introduced to Melbourne and Sydney in 1957 and 1958 respectively. Australian Broadcasting Corporation series which debuted in 1956 included TV Channel and Picture Page. Other 1950s-era Australian Broadcasting Corporation series included variety shows like Look Who's Dropped In and Cafe Continental, discussion series like Any Questions, and children's series Children's TV Club. Starting in 1957, the 2 ABC stations then in operation each produced 1 live drama presentation each month, which would be kinescoped for broadcast in the other city. 1960s to the 1990s, Colour television. Weekly current affairs program Four Corners began in 1961, followed in the same year by Profiles of Power, a series of interviews with prominent Australians. Direct relays between Sydney, Melbourne and Canberra were also established in 1961, replacing temporary microwave relays as a means of simultaneously airing programs across multiple stations. Videotape equipment, allowing the sharing of footage with much greater ease and speed, was installed in each state capital by 1962. ABC TV was one of the first television networks in Australia to embrace the rock-roll revolution of the late 1950s, most notably with 6 O'Clock Rock, hosted by Johnny O'Keefe. During the 1960s and early 1970s, the channel continued to broadcast programs on popular music, including the pop show Hit Scene, performance specials by groups such as Tully and Max Merritt and Amp the Meteors, as well as the magazine-style program GTK, which premiered in 1969 and screened for 10 minutes 4 nights per week at 6:30 p.m. immediately prior to Bellbird and the 7 p.m. news bulletin. In 1967, the weeknightly television current affairs program This Day Tonight was launched on ABC TV. Teletext services were introduced to ABC TV in 1983 to allow hearing-impaired viewers access to closed captions. Nationwide success to This Day Tonight was replaced in turn by a new hour-long national news program called The National. Having proved unsuccessful, it reverted to a state ABC News bulletin at 7 p.m., with a state-based edition of the 7.3 report following afterwards. Lateline and Media Watch also launched in the 1980s, 2000s and beyond. Digital television. The year 2001 saw the launch of a new logo to celebrate the introduction of digital terrestrial television in Australia. The logo was modified to a three-dimensional metallic design. Coinciding with this, digital television was introduced to most of the network's coverage area on the 1st of January 2001. This was soon followed by the gradual introduction of widescreen and high-definition programming. In 2002, to celebrate 70 years of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC TV's logo reverted to the over and under design seen in the previous decades. However, it retained the three-dimensional metallic design. The channel's idents featured elements, fire, leaf and ice, and the slogan was updated to Everyone's ABC. The idents also featured the silver ring that morphs into the ABC logo. This, however, did not last, as later in 2003, the channel's idents were modified to feature everyday Australians. In 2005, the ABC have switched from the supertext logo to their own closed captioning logo. On the 19th of December that year, the channel's idents were revamped, featuring a modified ABC logo transforming to a television. These idents were also carried on to ABC2, which launched in the same year. At midday on the 8th of February 2008, ABC TV was rebranded as ABC1, with the standard definition redirect channel moved from LCN22 to LCN21, complementing the existing ABC2 digital-only channel launched on the 7th of March 2005. Further cementing the change in identity was the change from the slogan "There's more to television" to "It begins with one." After concerns in some sections of the media that the 43-year-old Lysyzhikov brand was to disappear completely, ABC management reaffirmed that it would remain in use by the corporation. June 2010 saw ABC One's high-definition digital transmission terminated, to be replaced with a fourth channel, ABC News 24. As of the 10th of December 2013, ABC no longer broadcasts on analog TV and is now only available through digital TV, a digital set-top box. On the 6th of February 2011, ABC One launched its new branding via idents featuring a range of channel personalities, including the face of the channel, Adam Hills, with the new tagline, "Think Entertainment." A new watermark is also aired with a single one above the network's famous Lysyzhikov logo. On the 20th of July 2014, ABC One changed its name back to just ABC, and at the same time, they introduced new idents featuring the 1975 Lysyzhikov logo being drawn by itself of videos of people doing activities. Then, the words "It's SABC" fade in on the left side of the logo. The words then changed to #URAPS, which is the network's new slogan. The new 2014 idents look very similar to the 1996 to 1998, 1998 to 2000, 2003 to 2005, and 2008-2011 ABC station idents. Controllers. In 2010, as part of a revamp of the entire ABC television network, ABC One hired its very first television controller, Brendan Daffel from BBC Worldwide. 2010 present Brendan Daffel. Programming. ABC is required by charter to meet certain programming obligations. Although it has a strong focus on news and current affairs, it also presents documentaries and educational programs, drama, light entertainment, comedy and variety, and sports. News and current affairs. ABC News, broadcast on ABC, is a national news service produced by the News and Current Affairs division of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. A number of bulletins and updates are shown throughout the day, which include the flagship state-based evening bulletins of ABC News at 7 p.m., focused on local, national and international news relevant to their entire respective state or territory. In addition, ABC News Breakfast is broadcast each weekday morning, and it is also shown on ABC News 24. The Midday Report, a national weekday edition of ABC News, is broadcast at noon live from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's studios in Ultimo, Sydney. News updates are presented nationally only on both ABC News 24 and ABC throughout the day. However, evening updates are shown in most states by the respective presenters. Other flagship programs, which include Four Corners, Australian Story, Foreign Correspondent, Lateline and 7.30, are broadcast in prime time and are widely respected for their agenda-setting journalism. In addition, Landline, Insiders, Media Watch cover rural, political and business, and media affairs respectively. Sport. ABC Sport currently holds the broadcast rights to a range of sports, which are broadcast on ABC. These include the Women's Australian Open, W League, Women's National Basketball League, AFC Women's Asian Cup, as well as State Football League competitions, which include Australian Rules Football and Rugby League. In addition to this, the ABC also holds the rights to the Paralympic Games and the Australian Rugby Championship. ABC Sports currently broadcasts Grandstand, which includes the state football leagues such as New South Wales Rugby Union, Queensland Rugby League, Victorian Football League, Tasmanian Football League, South Australian Football League, West Australian Football League, and Northern Territory Football League, in addition to Tiwi Islands Football League and Australian Rugby Championship. Availability. ABC varies depending on state and territory in terms of what 7 p.m. news bulletin, state edition of 7.30, and some promotions are shown. National programming is often interrupted to show state election coverage. Each state and territory's individual station is based on that of its capital city, meaning that in the state of Victoria, all programs originate from either Melbourne or Sydney, where the remainder of programs are broadcast from. ABC is broadcast nationally via ABC television transmitters in an analog and standard definition format. ABC HD. The ABC HD multi-channel was launched on the 1st of January 2008 until the 22nd of July 2010. ABC Director of Television Richard Finlayson confirmed that the ABC will recommence simulcasting in HD in late 2016. However, in contrast to its past, ABC HD will provide regional-specific simulcasting, not just a nationwide simulcast of ABN Sydney. As a result, ABC News 24 will be reduced to a standard definition broadcast. It broadcasts identical programming to ABC, but in 720p HD via Freeview. ABC iView. ABC iView is a video-on-demand and catch-up TV service run by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The service became available on the 24th of July 2008. This was the next step after the podcasting of programs since July 2006. Currently iView can only be viewed by users in Australia. The iView website streams video at 650 kbit per second in the H.264 format, and uses the RTMP protocol, which makes it accessible to web browsers installed with Adobe Flash. iView is also available through native apps for iOS and Android smartphones, tablets, and HDMI devices, as well as on some brands of Internet-connected TVs. These use a HTTP stream to deliver video to the client. Logo history. In the early years, ABC TV had been using Lissajous curves with its initials ABC TV inside it as fillers in between programs. A staff competition was conducted in 1963 to create a new logo for use on television, stationery, publications, microphone badges and ABC vehicles. Graphic designer Bill Kennard, who had been experimenting with recording of the cathode ray oscillograph displays, submitted a design in 1965 which was part of the waveform of an oscilloscope. The letters ABC were added to the wavelength design and it was adopted as the ABC's official logo. Bill Kennard was paid £25 for his design. This logo has been modified from 2 dimensions to color to 3 dimensions over time, and it is now one of the most well-known logos in Australia. To celebrate the introduction of color television in 1975, the ABC logo was modified to a thickened version. The logo was also changed to an over and under design. To celebrate the Australian bicentenary, on Australia Day in 1988, the idents were updated. The original set of idents were titled Natural Textures of Australia, with a following called Man-Made Textures of Australia. The ABC logo featured on idents and promos was modified in 1996 to a similar design to that seen in 1963 on the first design. The logo was hand-drawn by persons featured in the promos and idents. To celebrate the introduction of digital terrestrial television in Australia in 2001, ABC TV's logo was again modified, but this time to a 3D silver design. The logo was also radically modified to lose the over and under design. In 2002, to celebrate 70 years of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC TV's logo changed back to the over and under design. However, it still kept the 3D silver design. The channel's idents featured elements, fire, leaf and ice, the silver ring that morphs into the ABC logo, and the slogan Everyone's ABC. These idents were also carried to ABC Asia Pacific. Later in 2003, the channel's idents were modified to feature everyday Australians. On the 19th of December 2005, the channel's idents were revamped, featuring a slightly modified ABC logo transforming into a television. On the 8th of February 2008, the channel was renamed as ABC1, with its logo updated concurrently with ABC2. In addition to this, the slogan "There's More to Television" was rebadged to "It Begins with One." After concerns in some sections of the media that the 43-year-old Lissajous curve logo was to disappear completely, ABC management reaffirmed that it would remain in use by the corporation. Aside this, the idents were revamped to feature a version of that of 2003, but with animations. In 2007, the ABC Television Corporation announced that the squiggle logo will not be removed but kept it of secret until the 8th of February 2008, when the ABC1 logo was branded with the ABC2 logo. On the 6th of February 2011, the channel was rebranded with new idents and a new on-air logo, with a new slogan, Think Entertainment. On the 20th of July 2014, ABC1 changes to ABC with a new on-air presentation. It restores the 1975 Lysergic curve logo with a new slogan, #URAPTS. The restored logo now appears as different gradient colors. Branding gallery. Identities of the Australian ABC, 1956. Different Lysergic curves on an oval base wave with the initials ABC TV inside. We zoom out to see it is on a television. 1970. Australian Broadcasting Commission, National Television Service. 1971. This is National Television ABC. 1972. This is ABC Television, the good-looking Australian. 1972. 1973. Around Australia, you're in tune with the national network, ABC Television. 1974. This is ABC National Television. Christmas 1974. Wishing you a Merry Christmas from ABC National Television. 1975. Come on home to ABC. 1975. Come to color on ABC National Television. 1977. You're at home with ABC. 1978 to 80. ABC TV. 1980 to 94. The ABC logo is a white ribbon on a blue background. We zoom in on it, and when we zoom out, there is a western plane and then the ABC logo. ABC TV fades above it. Summer 1980, 81. Summer 80, 1981. A blue ribbon goes down. Then an orange outlined ABC logo zooms forward and has ABC TV above it. Summer 1981, 82. ABC Summer 1982, 83. ABC, your national network. 1982. The Game Station. Early 1980s -94. Squares are made on the ground. We zoom through them to a yellow sun with an ABC logo which turns away. This identity was remade for the ABC by satellite program. 1985 to 94. You're watching ABC, your Australian network. 1986. This is ABC Television, coming to you via domestic satellite throughout Australia. 1988 to 95. Natural Textures of Australia. 1992 to 8 cents a day. 1994. Seeing is Believing on your ABC. 1990 to 95. Man-Made Textures. 1993 to 2000. It's your ABC. 1995 to 26. Words flicker on the screen, eventually stopping on a word. Some footage is then shown relating to that word. Then the ABC logo flips up at the end, with different music for each ident. January 1996 to 31 December 2000. A different person hand draws the ABC logo. From July 1998 onwards, the logo stays to the end of the ident with the letters ABC appearing next to it. From January 1996 until July 1998, the logo fades away before the end, and the words "It's your ABC" appear. Starting in December 1996, the idents give information about who was in the ident, where it was filmed. The 1st of January 2001-2002, a giant silver ring morphs into the ABC logo with the slogan name after the network's occupation, the national broadcaster, at the bottom. This is the first identification to use the silver logo. The 1st of January 2001-2002. You're watching ABC, your Australian network. First in Australia. 2002-2003. A silver ring morphs into the 2002 logo. The idents feature the elements fire, leaf, and ice. The Everyone's ABC slogan was used in mid-2003, 2003 to 2005. An everyday situation is seen with the slogan Everyone's ABC, 2005 to 2008. The ABC logo transforms into a television with a different picture in it for each identity. The slogan "There's more to television" or a variation of it is seen. 2008 to 2011, a single person is seen along with animations and the slogan "It begins with one," which means that things begin with one person. Summer 2010-11, color your summer with ABC. 2011 to 2014, think entertainment. Summer 2011-12, happy summer. The 20th of July 2014, #UROPTS.